Hey Flosstube, this is Tara with Wild Woman Crafts, and we're back for Flosstube, whatever I'm on. I never keep track of these things. I don't really have much of an intro for you today. I'm just very excited to dive into this Flosstube with you. So without further ado, let's get into it. I have quite a number of projects that I've touched in the last couple of weeks. I had a real crunch at the end of August, so we will get started. So I only have one fully finished object for you, but it is quite a special one. So a little more suspense. I do have lead up apparently. So one of my August whip go calls, which in my interpretation is a lot of like fully finishing of things that have already been stitched and starting a couple things in small series, is I had to finish a chart from a couple of years ago. And I decided I wanted to make it into a project bag, and not only a project bag, but a vinyl front project bag, which I had never done before. So here's the result of that. So this is the front, and then this is the back. I love it so much. So this is my stitched piece. This is Pineapple Slut by Stash Stitch Designs, I believe. They're on Etsy. I got this, I saw the designer post in like a Facebook group basically, and was like, hey, if anyone wants to model stitch for me, like you can have the chart that you model stitch for free. So, you know, just like go through and pick anything. So I picked this one and stitched it up. So if you go to the listing, my piece is on the listing in a frame. I had like stuffed it into a frame to make a nice photo for the listing, but this is its final form now. I love it so much. Is it perfectly straight? No, I have no idea what was going on with these letters. Like I looked and they were supposed to all be even, like on the same row, but then I did notice that my S is one stitch down, but then I tried to line it up on the other three letters and I don't know. I don't know what happened, whatever. It's very quirky, it's fine. So I feel like this bag is sponsored by Jenny of the Quilt Junkie. So this pink fabric, she graciously sent to me, and she sent me this little pineapple iron-on patch that I decorated it with. And she also sent me, I think what is really interesting about this is this decorative zipper that I featured last time. So I did get it on here. These are sold by Missouri Star Quilt Co. And first of all, they're really nice zippers. They're like very heavy duty. They have like a little star detail on there. I, of course, had to attach Rootin' Tootin' Faz. Sorry, I guess he's backwards when he's that way. There we go, Rootin' Tootin'. And the lining inside is actually a thrifted bed sheet that I got from Goodwill like probably a couple years ago. So justification to hold on to your scraps for all time, but I can't believe I did it. Classic mom phone call in the middle. I don't know what I was talking about. Oh yeah, the bed sheet was from Goodwill, and I think it goes perfectly. And basically I followed Elizabeth Ann Stitch's vinyl front project bag tutorial. So my finished dimensions are the same as hers, but hers, you know, the instructions are to orient it this way, but I oriented it this way. And it was so much easier than a fabric bag, I feel. Like obviously cutting the vinyl was an experience, but as far as like assembly, it seems so much easier than a fabric bag. So this is now home. I have like, with a lot of fun new bags in rotation, last night I like rehoused a lot of different things to have them in bags that are like from friends or like whatever now. So this is now the home of my Stitch for Pride chart, which we'll look at in a little bit, but yeah, very happy. I've been testing a lot of threads on it. So that was very exciting. So that was one of my August whip go calls. We will talk about the other one, but that is my fully finished object from the last couple of weeks. And then next up, speaking of Stitch for Pride, is my August Stitch for Pride section. So this chart is a stitch along by D's 20 Stitches, featuring a different queer artist every month. And so last month was Hangama Amiri, and my thread looks interesting. I like it. I still like it. It's getting harder and harder to be like, what goes with everything? And not that these like go together, but what, you know, is like somewhat cohesive. So she is a Afghan Canadian kind of like textile artist, and she had a lot of fabulous quilts. I really loved, she kind of focuses a lot on like the like silenced voices of Afghan women when like the Taliban were in control, which of course is like a lot to think about now. But I really liked one of her pieces that I saw in the learning that was like several quilts that she kind of hangs like tapestries, and there's all this like fabulous like piecing and applique happening, and they looked like a bazaar, like a market, and she was trying to like highlight sort of women-led spaces, things like salons, like nail salons, hair salons, like these markets and stuff like that, and how those are very like women-led spaces, and how those came like back to Afghanistan when the Taliban wasn't in control. But anyway, this thread, oh sorry, I should have pulled that that one thread. This is a Night Spirit, no, not a Night Spirit Studio, that's a designer. Night Stalker's Calling. Jane Jetson, which was in a box. I like these splotchy ones. I like the splotchy kind of variegated as opposed to the super stripy, because it's just a lot sometimes. I mean, I love it here, but just when I think about using it in other pieces, the super stripy is hard. So we know, because it is September 7th, we know who the next artist is, so I will have that picture up, and I am testing some kind of more like brownie colors. I don't really know which way I want to go, but this is stitched on 32 count Fox and Rabbit baked clay, and I am loving it, keeping up with it. I'm really happy that that August and September are like pretty low stitch counts, which makes me nervous for the end of the year. Is do you gonna pile it on at the end? But I mean, come on, it's the perfect bag for Stitch for Pride, so I'm happy that it gets to live in that for a couple of months before we finish it up. So that was that motif was a start and finish since we last chatted, and then I think this is just a finish. I don't think this was a start and finish since I saw you last, but the August Celebrate All Year Stitch Along chart was National Peach Month, and I did finish that. And I really love this one. The colors just absolutely pop on this. I did go ahead, I was complaining last time, this is 32 count Aqua Riviera by Witchelt, and you know, the fabric is like crispy beyond all reason. So let me see, where do I have the other piece in here? Well, you can see, so like the hot dog one, I mean, you can totally see the outline of the nurge. It just like very much holds its shape. So I boiled this one. So you could see like it is less rigid. It was more enjoyable to stitch on. I feel like it kind of opened up the weave a little bit. So you can see this one just, you know, it has a little give to it, whereas this has like none. Hopefully that makes sense. But anyway, so I did boil this piece of fabric. I do recommend boiling it. It helped. I don't think it lost color. So last night I did go ahead and boil my last piece for September, because again, so September's is spectacular, especially for me, because September's my birthday month, and I've been working so hard on my Owl Forest Dinosaur Forest, and September's chart is Velociraptor Awareness Month. The bummer about this one, as I'm sure you're immediately seeing, is it's almost full coverage. It is far and away the most dense one that we have had, which is a little bit of a bummer, but what are you gonna do? So that was a finish since we saw each other last, and then the pièce de résistance. I finished yesterday September 6th, Friday, September 6th, an actual Friday finish, my Deadly Aquarium. Oh my gosh. I can't believe it's over. I was commenting to some friends last night that I was like, it's the thing with stitch alongs, especially if you're keeping up, is it doesn't feel finished when it's finished because you're very used to the process of like stitching a chunk and then being done and then waiting and then stitching a chunk and being done and waiting. And so it doesn't really feel done. I did cut the fabric and iron it, which helped a little bit, but yeah, so here was our last section here. And I don't think I had finished the jellyfish when we spoke last. Sorry, I should have clipped this. But yeah, so the jelly section, I put in these sea nettles and the man-o-war and then these little nudibranchs, I have the word. And then yeah, we still have the box jelly and our St. George Cross Medusas. So cute. And then our grand finale is this absolutely glorious crocodile and a little puffin. So yeah, we have our sign Beware of Crocodile. I was not anticipating like the 2 ground signs in this. That's so fun. You can tell my margin is spectacular. It's a little tight. But you know, that's future me's problem to figure out when framing, but I love it. So for the last time, just soak it in. For the last time, this is the Deadly Aquarium by Lola Crow Cross Stitch, and it is stitched on 40 count eucalyptus by Atomic Ranch. And it was all the DMC, all the called for DMC, with some adjustments to the backstitch where basically I didn't use 2 strands of backstitch unless it felt right. But yeah, I don't know if all this was like, yeah, no, I think it was all done. I think I was working on the jellies. It's so good. It's so good. And I love the size of it, like on the 40 count. So happy with it. And thank you all. I was joking as well that like it feels, especially going to in-person retreats this year, and like so many people saw this and like, you know, hyped me up, rooted me on, complimented it, like it just, so it feels like a community project, you know. I'm like, we had our big finish. So thank you to everyone that has shared kind words about that piece along the way. It's been so fun and so fun to see everyone else's finishes. So I'm happy to keep seeing those like rolling in on Instagram. So those are all the finishes. My bad. I actually have 3 starts since we last chatted. So let's just move on over into those. I have my bags all over the place today. So the first one is my other August Whip Go call. So as I said, my Whip Go is mostly fully finishing things. But a couple of them, I have a couple of little seasonal series that are pretty small, and so I have a lot of those as starts as well. And several of those starts are going to get called in the later months. It's going to be very interesting. But for August, the calls was to stitch on one of these. I think the series does have a name. I'm not sure, but anyway, I picked Flamingo All the Way by Hands on Design. I have stitched, well, I'll show you here. So this is the second one of these 3 that I'm starting. The other 2, in case you haven't seen this series, I guess I could show these off, is Flamingo and Flamingo Bells. So this is the one I've already stitched. I have not stitched that one yet. And I am doing a full like fancy thread from stash conversion on this. So you can see how my color palette looks from this one. So this was my finish of Flamingo Bells. So you can see it's like a little punchier. I used some variegateds, but I really like it. And this is on a 28 count Crystal Dwarf. Help. Yep, 28 count Crystal Dwarf Lugana. by PTP, picture this plus. And I do not have a big start on this. It was a big crunch at the end of August to try to finish all of my stitch alongs, so this did not get a whole lot of time, but it's pretty small, and I know that I will want to work on it over the holidays. But I did get Flamingo all the written in. So, and I got my little flock star needle minder. So yeah, hopefully you can see this is sparkly. I really love these, so these will be a fun, so I'm sure for my like fully finished board next year, these will be on as finishes. So I'm hoping I can just do, you know, all 3 across the bottom, and I'll still have like a good chunk of this fabric left for something in the future. But that has been fun, and I don't know, we're all over the place with the bags. It's very themed because there was the Black Needle Society Flamingo box last year. So, and then like even the thread drop, I have my little like flock shop. But you can see my threads that I pulled are some Forbidden Fiber Co's, a Be Stitch Me, some Color and Cotton, a Cottage Garden threads, Fiberlicious, another Be Stitch Me. It's all over the place, but I am really happy with it. I'm liking how it's looking, so this one is officially on the go. Yay. Next up, a start that I really needed to get started, so good for me, is my last rotation of the hashtag Rogue Round Robin squad. So myself, Miriam of Marumi Crafts, Julie of Julie and Stitches, and Julie, Kansas City Girl in Colorado World, have been doing an Ink Circles round robin together. And this is my last chart that I'll be stitching on, and this is Reflections of Scotland for Julie. And I finally got started on it. So here's my progress. So I am responsible for this last quarter here. So I did get to put in, I didn't realize until I stitched it that, you know, these are all sheep, but then there's a sheep dog. And so I got to put the dog in. I feel fancy. So this is 32 count linen from a seller on Etsy called Nicholas Flamel. And there was a 3-pack of fabric that she bought called the Bronte Sisters. And so this is a piece from that pack, but it is not, it doesn't have a specific name. And then this is monochromatic with a silk here. It is a Gloriana silk in the color Highland Garden. So yeah, that's what we are stitching with, which of course, you know, Gloriana's lovely to work with. It's been lovely to work with. I love the fabric. I love the thread, love the needle minder, very Outlander. Julie's a big Outlander fan. So yeah, happy to keep this one moving. I just saw on Instagram this morning that Miriam, I think, had our first finish. She finished Julie's Green Damsel piece for Julie and Stitches. And I know before that she finished, we kind of got jammed up at some point that somebody had like 2 charts. So I think Miriam had the 2 charts. So she finished the 3rd section of mine and sent that on, and then just finished Julie's. Or maybe she hasn't sent it on. She's probably gonna send them together because then Julie's will be done. Yay! So I cannot wait to have mine back. It's looking fantastic. Everyone is so talented. I, going into this, was so worried that my stitches would look like junk next to everybody else's, but I think we're all very talented, and I think our stitches complement each other very well. So yeah, that has been going well. I've just been doing like my start of the day, 200 stitches on that. It should be done, and doing that method, it should be like less than a week that it's done. So getting that done. And last up for my new starts in my Erin of the Hathaway Stitchers Moth bag. This could not have been more perfect. Let me just show you the colors in this here. I mean, come on. It's so perfect. This is Moths in the Moon by Tiny Modernist. So This is a stitch along that you are welcome to join. We're saying start anytime in September, but obviously I do not care. Feel free to start this whenever you want to start this. So this is Moths and the Moon by Tiny Modernist. Marjorie Maid and I are hosting this Sal. You can find it on the Cross Stitch Salander Instagram account if you have not seen that before, or on my or Marjorie's Instagram. And yes, this is the chart. I started this for my birthday, even though like I kind of talked Marjorie into starting this with me, and then we were like, we should do it for fall. And I was like, oh, and it's my birthday. So it's like kind of a birthday start, kind of a whatever start. But I am stitching this on 36 count Seaweed by Fox and Rabbit. I love this color. I got inspired by a finish I saw on Instagram that was on like a darker fabric. So this is not going to be, you know, maybe the border won't be as punchy, but the moths looked amazing on someone who did it on like a deeper kind of green. So I want to get back to this. I tend to shoot these days for like 100 stitches in a new start. But nowadays, 100 stitches just doesn't even feel like anything. It doesn't feel like enough to count it as a start. So I need to get back to this again this month for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of the name of the game is this year. I have some larger starts for me relatively, and I have not had very like substantial progress on them, which kind of leads into, we can talk about, I've been mulling over some ideas for next year, but yeah, anyway, this is Moths and the Moon, and this bag couldn't be more perfect, and it was the perfect birthday start, and I'll tell you what I did on my birthday later if you want to hear about some life stuff. But yep, that's a start. Okay, so I still have 4 works in progress to show you quickly. So first up, let me get this out of the way here. We will take another look at Twisted Rainbow Sampler, which has another pass done. Here she is. And that you are seeing the entire band here to here. That is the whole, this is the corner. We're down there. So I finished the top half of this next, second to last cross stitch band. And I did start on the next color. I was worried. I'm very curious to see how this looks on camera, but the colors are a little close. But that's okay. We have come way too far to care about it now. And plus, I mean, it's a beautiful like fuchsia tone. I'm not mad about it. But yeah, I was talking last video about kind of like pushing ahead, that I had like kind of landed ahead 2 weeks. I ate my lead. It's fine. I'm back on track, which is okay. I think like that's really been the name of the game this year, and the mindset I want to continue forward next year, that like, if I'm setting goals and I'm keeping up with the timeline of those goals, I can't also then bully myself for not exceeding my goals. It's okay. It's okay. I know I wanted to shoot for a finish for this in October, which is still totally possible. But it's also okay if I don't. Because either way, if I stay on track, it'll be done by the end of the year. So, which is what I wanted. Yeah, so loving this little flower band. You know, this alternates like flowers and butterflies. So we have the flowers here. We'll have one more specialty band and then a butterfly in the corner. And this is the Dinky Dyes Silk Pack. This is Twisted Rainbow Sampler by Northern Expressions Needlework. I don't really feel like I just assume if you're here, you've probably been around before. If you're a new friend, hi, hello. This is my oldest whip, and we're ready for it to be gone because we want to hang it and we want to enjoy it. But yeah, it's on 28 count Jobelin? Yeah, black Jobelin. And it's with the Dinky Dyes Silk Pack. Next up, the other one that I feel like I forget probably to say what it is sometimes because I assume everyone knows, is my Dinosaur Forest by Owl Forest Embroidery, which is my second oldest project, which is on track for a finish this year as well. And we hit a big milestone we finished the border. I finished it. Yeah, I don't know. I was really feeling in the groove. So I was like, let's go for it. So since you saw it last, I finished the border and I added one of the, I think this week's stitches was this little guy and this, which I was thinking that it was funny that he kind of looked, you know, he could be a velociraptor maybe. And so it's funny that I got to stitch this little velociraptor, and then I have this very elaborate velociraptor in the Celebrate All Year Sal to stitch. But this is the Alforced Embroidery kit. So kit fabric, it's 32, kit flosses, kit needle minder, all that jazz. I love it. I'm happy. So this is my hashtag motif a week project. And I have been interpreting that as about, I shoot for 181 stitches a week, but some weeks are more. So again, should be on track for an end of year finish. I'm under, I don't know how many, I don't know, whatever. I am where I am. And if I didn't show, here's where it was before. Sorry, let me put it up one time. Here's where it was before. I have been liking putting those photos in, and then yeah, here's where it is now. Yay. And that is, here, I'll do another random bag shout out. That is living in my Quilt Junkie dino bag. Okay, next up is one that has not been around as much as those two have. And that is Tea Glasses by 8 Pixel. This is a piece that I started for Montana Friend. This was her request, and I started it last year for her, and it also just had its like birthday, so I've been getting some stitches in it again. And here's where it was the last time I would have shown it, hopefully. And then here's where it is now. I think we're finally starting to see some of the illusion. I was trying to really focus on this one glass to like motivate me that it was gonna look good, but I think it is definitely one of those, like, looking at it in the camera, it looks better from a distance. So, okay, I can trust, right? And then you can kind of see the outline of this glass happening here. Yeah, so we dyed, this is a full coverage piece, but we dyed this Ada together when I visited her last year to hopefully eliminate the need for me to stitch the, like, the sky, like the background color on the top. On the bottom, I'm gonna have to do that. So it'll kind of be like full coverage up to the top there. And I think it looks really good. I was feeling better about it, like pulling it out more recently. So I'm gonna continue, once I finish Reflections of Scotland, this is gonna go back to being my like 200 stitches a day project, and we're gonna try to do that until I get burnout on it again. But for now, feeling okay. It does, sorry, I'm just like, I need this moment. I was like, it does look good. It looks good, I think. It looks good, especially from a distance. But in person, like looking at it up close still, I'm just like, this looks, the illusion is not there, but from a distance. And I believe this is like a 16 count Ada that we got at Joann Fabrics and then dyed with Rit dye. Where did you go? Oh yeah. So that is that one. And then last but not least, the one I'm hoping for finish today. So after I finished Deadly Aquarium yesterday, I was feeling that Friday finish energy, and I decided that I really wanted to finish my Snail, my Solstice Snail from Katie Landis of the Black Needle Society. This was this year's Snail for the BNS Camp in-person retreat. So many interruptions this morning. Okay, Foz is back from the vet, so if you're hearing him, he's letting us know how that went for him. He's fine. But yeah, I really want to finish this. I don't want this to languish. And this was fully kitted up at the retreat. So this is Be Stitch Me Vintage in or 32 count linen in vintage by Be Stitch Me, and all of the called for threads, which are, I think, all gentle arts. Very beautiful. So yeah, loving that one. Hoping to get that done today. I went from like 13 to 50% last night, so I think hopefully this will be a finish today. And that is all my works in progress. So I have a couple plans, a couple of like Stitchy Kindness things, and then some pictures from the aquarium from my birthday, and that's about all I got for you. Hoping this is shorter than most, but we'll see. So as far as plans, I said I'm gonna keep up my like, I've now I think labeled this like my priority lane project. It's getting fast tracked. So Reflections of Scotland is definitely my priority project right now. That's getting 200 stitches a day. And then I will switch it to the tea glass project, like I said, until I don't want to do it anymore. I still need to catch up on Arctic Animals. I think the next drop is happening maybe this coming week, and I have not done the 4th installment, so that's fine. And then of course it's a new month, so I have new Stitch for Pride, new Celebrate All Year, like we talked about, so got to do those. And then it's pre-Halloween time, so you know, I mean, it is kind of already Halloween. I put my little ghosties in. I don't know if you could tell from this distance that they're ghosts, but I'm getting hyped. So I'm thinking about, I'm going to show you a couple of projects really quickly, because last year I did do like 13 stitches of Halloween and stitched on 13 projects, I think, or the year before. I don't know. I think it was last year that I did 13 actual projects. And this year I'm not going to do that because I have a number of larger projects. Like I said, I tend to work in this like small medium category, and it's kind of gumming up these bigger projects. So now that I have a few bigger projects, I think next year will be a fun like exploration in how I want to tackle some of these. But just quickly, because I know so many of you like Halloween as well, I'm going to show you some of the things that I am planning on focusing on. And so what I'm thinking for 13 stitches of Halloween is, for all of my Halloween charts, I want to put at least 1,300 stitches in. So 1,300 stitches, or to get to 13%, like whichever is more, I guess, or possible. So first up is Satsuma Street's Monster House Sal. This is ongoing. Part 5 of 6 has already been released, so I have not even started, but I've tried to hold out. I know there's different schools of thoughts about, you know, kits versus whips, that, you know, what's the difference between like a kit and a whip? Like, just start it. It's all basically ready. But mentally, I need kits to stay kits until I feel like I can figure something out. So I have this kitted up. I am going to go for this Laura's Fabrics linen in the color Flamingo, which is a 32 count linen. I think it's going to go really well. And seeing more of the stitch along now, I'm pretty confident that there's no like really bad like pink edges that are going to blend and look weird. It's looking fantastic. I love seeing other people's stuff, so I want to start it. So now that Deadly Aquarium is out of the way, that was one that I was really kind of waiting to see cleared out before I was considering starting this. So would love to have that as a start and put at least 1,300 stitches in. The next one I know for sure I'm starting is Autumn Lane Stitchery's Witch's Hollow. Are you kidding me? And I know what fabric I'm going to put it on. I have stitched a couple pieces on this already, but now she is ready for her big debut. This is Jackson Fabric Arts Soul, and it's a 32 count linen. And if you're not familiar with Jackson Fabric Arts, it is a hemp linen, so it's definitely a different experience in a positive way. I think it's really nice. I'm excited to have another Halloween piece on this soon. It's definitely a little punchier than the called for orange, but I still think it's gonna look fantastic. So this is ready to go, and that is obviously a big chart. This was in their Halloween box last year, and I do believe they are planning to release this year, so you know, definitely keep an eye out. I did score their mermaid box, so I am excited to see that come in. But this is living in a bag that Chandria of Chandria Carol Stitches made me. Love it. And it's the perfect tones too. It's just like, it's all working. So I have so many good bags now, so that's a definite start. Another definite start is, which actually might end up starting later this month, is with Laura and Keisha of the Pattern Queens and Jennifer of Frog Stitcher on Instagram. And we're gonna start Izzie Dekayen by Silver Creek Samplers. So the pattern says Izzie Dekayen, Booze and Spirits, Casket Aged. So I have this one kitted up in this 805 Stitcher bag, and I think I'm gonna use this, which is what exactly? This is cut off of something. Wow, I really couldn't tell you. Did I leave a... Oh, here we go. Oh, okay, it's Fiber on a Whim Cafe Au Lait. There we go. It's not cut off of something, it's a fat eighth. So I have that kitted up with Forlorn Fuzz. So I think we're gonna start that later this month, which will be very fun. And then yeah, my 805 Stitcher bag. And then this one is already a whip, but I was just gonna re-highlight my Autumn Alphabet by Al Forest Embroidery. I'll put the chart up, and you know, it's just fun. We're just all looking at Halloween charts. So this was my humble start on that. So definitely want to get some more stitches in that over the Halloween season. Yeah, and this is in my Lynn X Stitches Creates bag. Perfect for this half yard of fabric. So those are some of my Halloween ideas. And then I also wanted to plug, yesterday I got recommended on my For You page, Christy of Christy's Corner Needlework. I believe that's the same Christy. I got one of her videos recommended to me that is 50 plus free Halloween charts. And it's a fantastic video. And also what's even more fun is they are all free charts that don't require you to sign up for an email list or join a Facebook group, which is fun. That's often a barrier to free. You have to give your information up in some way. So there's some really cute ones on there. So hopefully I'm not too tempted to stray from my larger charts, but there's some really cute smalls in there. So definitely go check that video out. I will link it below. And then, yeah, the only other plan that I just want to kind of like ruminate on as we're entering the last quarter of the season here is thinking of next year. Like I said, I like having all these kitted up bags and just kind of looking around. And since I organized things this year, I have so many patterns that I do really want to stitch, but for whatever reason, it's like the new shiny thing always takes precedent over starting one of those, and I don't want to do that forever. So I think next year I might possibly consider, I mean, obviously I still will probably buy boxes, and I already have boxes ordered that will be arriving next year. So like, it's not a no pattern buy, but I might attempt to like not buy any new patterns next year and try to stitch exclusively from like patterns in stash. So I don't know. That's something I'm kind of like, some kind of low buy, no buy, reduced buy type situation next year. I am thinking about it because it makes me sad to look at all these charts that I really do like and have wanted to start for years, and it's just like they never quite make the cut to get on the go. And obviously I want to still kind of continue like burning down a few whips so I can, anyway, add more. Because right now I'm at 18. It'll be 17 when I finish the Snail. But, you know, then when you kind of consider that like Stitch for Pride and Celebrate All Year, even though I don't have those like listed in my Notion right now because I haven't started this month's charts, I really have 19. Or, well, sorry, I would have like 20 basically. I have about 20 whips if you count those, which I think you should because they're kind of ongoing. And that is kind of the top end of what feels good to me. So yeah, I'd like to maybe especially with these bigger projects. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I got to figure out what is working for me. But yes, okay, so lastly, I have a few like Stitchy Kindness things, birthday goodies. So my birthday fell on a Wednesday this year, so I was off work and so was my partner, and we actually went to the Georgia Aquarium, because if you're a resident, you get in for free on your birthday. And I also really wanted to go because there is currently an Animal Crossing aquarium tour that's been traveling. I think they like piloted it in Seattle last year, but it's been touring aquariums this year. And the like month that it is in Georgia happened to fall over my birthday, and I was so happy about it. So we went and checked that out. I'll put a couple photos up. So it was extremely fun to get to go like in the morning on a weekday, at the beginning of school. So there was just nobody there. There was not a lot of people there. So we had a lot of fun. I did a lot of the like little crawl spaces for kids that I never normally do because there's a million kids running around. So that was really fun. And the Animal Crossing thing, it's not like that crazy. I knew it wasn't going to be that much because it basically consists of like, you can get Nintendo points if you have like a Nintendo online account or whatever. So you get like points for checking in. There's some like acrylic standees. There was merch. And then throughout the exhibits, there were like Blathers placards that were there. So I tried to take photos of those. And what was cool is that there was like a list of all of the placards online. So you could kind of like check them off as you went through. So I didn't really think like, I knew it wasn't that elaborate, but I was surprised how excited I was when I got there. So we had a lot of fun, found all the placards, had a good time. And then, so as far as merch, unfortunately, the t-shirts, they only had up to a child medium. I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure the average age of an Animal Crossing player is like over 20, but sure. And then they had a lot of like plushes and stuff, which were really cute. And then they actually had the Animal Crossing Lego sets, which I had resisted buying, but now, you know, it was my birthday souvenir. So Veselin got for me Isabel's little house here. Well, I mean, I guess it's not really Isabel's house, but Isabel is at the little cabin because this is like your player cabin. So I am aspiring to find a place for this to live before I build it, but I did get that. And then my other little thing that I thought was cute is they had some like activity sticker books. So we got some of those. They have like a lot of the villagers in them. So I thought that was really cute, like some of the materials. So that was my little aquarium souvenirs. So that was a lot of fun. And then I also got from Connie of Count Twice, Stitch Once. So sweet. She knew it was my birthday and she made me this little dino needle book. It's so sweet. So it's got the little stego. And then inside, the little brontosaurus sticking his head out of the tent. So freaking cute. So she made me these little Halloween pins. I love. Connie and I are both Halloween girls. And then gave me a couple of needles here, one of which is a size 28 ballpoint needle. And I am thrilled to get to try that because I have never tried ball tip needles. So I'm very excited about that. And yeah, she's so freaking sweet. There's a little stego hiding in there. The little pockets. So I adore this. Thank you so much, Connie. That was so thoughtful of her to think of me. And then the last thing, this is not really a gift, but it, you know, arrived around the time, but a gift to myself, I guess. So during the Black Needle Society camp, I had ordered a custom Stitch and Go case from Renee of the Golden Familiars, and it finally came in. So I just love this little cryptid fabric. I love the Kraken, and yeah, the Nessie, and Mothman, and the Yeti, and Bigfoot, and the Jackalope. So freaking cute. So what was fun was that at at camp, she had told me that she had some like astral, like star gold fabric. But then she actually messaged me and she's like, ooh, some new stuff came in and I actually think one of these might work better. And I totally agree. So we went for this plaid. I love it. I got the bobbin style. And as you can see, like I said, I had a shuffle last night, so I already loaded it up. So this is now the house for my, well, I guess I'll just show you the chart, probably more worthwhile than the lack of stitching that's going on there. So this is now the house for my armchair ornithologist piece by Lindy Stitches. The one thing is that I now have 2 cases that hold 20 bobbins, and the projects that I have that have like a lot of bobbins have more than 20. So a couple of them are hanging out here, but it's close. It's close. It works. It's fine. And I put a pair of scissors in here. Love, love. I'm so excited to own my first Stitch and Go case. It's so good. The fabric is so good. Thank you, Renee. Like I said, it feels basically like a present since I paid for it, you know, like a month ago. And it arrived around this time. Is perfect. So there is all that. And I feel like I maybe forgot something, but I don't know. So yeah, other than that, all that's really been going on is we've been chilling. Next week is my first week that I start one day in the office. So shout out to me. And then I've been watching a lot of Paralympics. I did not do Stitch the Summer Olympics or like Paralympics, but I have been watching a lot of it. And the Paralympics has been so fun to watch. I've been really liking watching the sports that are like unique to them. So I watched some of like bocce, which I think it's technically titled like boccia or something, but like call it bocce ball in the States, right? Bocce, so impressive the way that like, because some of those athletes are like quadriplegic and in chairs and they don't throw the ball itself. If you're not familiar with bocce, there's like a white ball that gets thrown onto a court and then you have 4 balls to try to get as close as possible to the white ball, the jack. And so some of these athletes that are like quadriplegic in chairs and are not able to throw the ball, they have assistants that set up these elaborate ramps. And so they have to be able to communicate, and it's like timed, you know, it's like a lot of events where you only have a certain amount of time to like set up your shot. So they have to like communicate to their partner, to their helper, their assistant, I'm not sure what the term is, but who have their backs to the court, they can't look. They have to communicate like the angle and the height and like all this stuff, and then they wear like a little headband with a poker, and they like poke the ball through the ramp to shoot the shot. And like the accuracy, I just like, that is so impressive. Like I just imagine, angles, grids, protractors just like going on in their head all the time, because that is an immensely difficult task. So that was really cool. I watched some goalball, which is again, an event specific to the paras that has like 2 teams of 3 blind players. And they, just like sling a ball at each other and try to get it into a really big goal, which initially I didn't realize they were blind. And I was like, where's the challenge? Like, this goal is huge. And they use their whole bodies on the floor to block it. But I was like, oh, they're blind. That makes it a lot harder. And then also wheelchair rugby. Incredible. They're losing wheels. It is so aggressive. Very interesting to watch. Enjoyed that immensely. It was hard to stitch while watching that because I was just like, and it's so fast. Like, it's so fast. So loved wheelchair rugby, watched a fair amount of the triathlon, which it was just cool listening to, like, that's a longer event, so there's a lot of commentating going on. So it was interesting to hear about like all the different types of like equipment that people prefer. Blind long jump, crazy. Can you imagine? Like, you watch them do it and they're elite athletes, and so you're like, of course, that's how you would do it. It seems pretty straightforward. But the thought of being blind and running a dead sprint forward and then jumping with all of your might and hoping you land in the sand, that's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. Very, very impressive, all of it. Just all these feats of athleticism. So I have been loving it because I was sad when the Olympics ended. And it's like, you know, you just have something you can, like, there's hours of stuff to watch. So it was, I've been enjoying the paras. So that's fun, what's going on with me. Yeah, like I said, just looking forward to a good rest of the month. Been enjoying some of these like sneak previews into fall as it's been getting a little cooler. And yeah, ready for some Halloween stitching. And oh yeah, I was lastly gonna mention, for me, the goal of Flosstube was to make additional friends and, you know, kind of have all this recorded for me, which I have accomplished those goals, so we're all good. However, I am like within 10 subscribers of 1,000, which would be cool to do, to meet that goal. That would be fun for me. So I am thinking about maybe getting a little prize pack together if we hit 1,000. If not the end goal for me, but it'd be cool. If you're here this long, you know, tell a friend. We got like 5 more people. What do I know? Sorry. So I don't want to talk about like numbers really ever again, but 1,000 would be cool. All right, I'm gonna stop talking. I gotta get to stitching that snail and watching some more paras because I think it's wrapping up soon. I think the finals for blind soccer are today, maybe. So I'm gonna watch that probably. Watch the archery final, some mixed archery finals yesterday. Very interesting. Okay, anyway, go watch some Paralympic replays. And hope you're having a great morning, afternoon, evening, midday, whenever you're watching this. And I hope to see you in the next one with 5 extra friends. Take care, everyone. Bye.